Hi, it's Rika. So I went fursuiting 2 days ago, and Rika got a bit dirty, so I thought I might make a tutorial on how to clean your fursuit head. Now, Rika actually very recently got it clean, like not even a week ago, but she's already dirty again, so I'm just gonna quickly show you how to get these stains out. First, I look at where the stains are. If they're just in a certain area, there's not really a need to wash the entire head. As I recently washed the entire head a couple of days ago, it's not too different from what I'm doing now, it's just you wash more of the head. Now I can see that there's dirt on her chin, a little bit on her cheek right there. I can't really see it that well on camera, but there's a bunch of dirt right here, and then on her chin. And then other than that, there's a lot of dirt here in her neck floof, which I'm definitely gonna need to wash off. On the neck and the back of her, I don't see any stains or dirt, so that doesn't need to be really thoroughly cleaned. The second important thing is the materials to clean your fursuit. Not all soap or type of soap is good for cleaning fursuit. So I mainly use the fursuit spray, very important, which is what I wash the inside of the head with most. I just spray the head until it's all wet and let it dry from the outside, and that pretty much takes care of the bacteria and dirt and stuff on the inside of the head. Now, for the outside, you have a bunch of options. The best is carpet cleaner. Now, not everybody has carpet cleaner, so there are a bunch of cheaper options to choose from. I mainly use this because I don't like the smell of carpet cleaner. It is a soap for sensitive skin, and it has pretty much zero add-ons, and it's safe for your fur. It will not make it matted, it'll not change the color, it's pretty safe. Now, if you don't have any fancy soap or carpet cleaner, the next best thing to use is regular hand soap. Most regular hand soap is really safe for cleaning your fursuit, and pretty much anyone has it on hand. Then something you should never use is soaps like these, which have an ingredient called this. I can't pronounce it, this. And this will pretty much wash away any airbrushing on your suit, and the other materials might damage the fur a little bit, so never use soaps like these. For today's clean of Rika, I'll be using these two materials, and I'll put the hand soap aside for a bit. If your suit has very big stains, for example foods like ketchup or whatever, or makeup or any other stains, these more extreme carpet cleaners are very good to use for that, and you can really rub those stains out. So before you start cleaning your suit, you might ask your maker what type of materials they used, if they used airbrushing, so you know you used the correct type of soap for that, and the correct way of cleaning. Also important to know is the eyes. Are they waterproof? Will they wash off? Rika's are pretty much waterproof because they are printed, but just to be sure, I do put some paper in there to keep them dry. Take these off. Instrument I use is a toothbrush. Now, obviously not a used one because, duh. And also you don't want to brush your teeth with your fursuit gunk. Because I'm not gonna do a full wash of Rika, I propped her up on the bathtub like this so I don't soak the entire suit, just the parts that I want. I know that cleaning your fursuit can be scary, making it wet can be scary, but don't worry, water does not hurt your suit. If you dry it properly so mold doesn't form, but mold doesn't form that quickly if you just air it out, so don't worry about that. First, I check if the temperature of the water is right. You want to use lukewarm water or slightly colder water because hot water will damage your fursuit. Here, I just gently rinse out the area that has stains on it, and I'm just looking for other places where the fur is stained. After that, I'll get my soap and just put some on my hand. Here I just put too many because I'm an idiot, and I just wash it between my hands. You don't really need to do that. And then I just gently massage the soap into the fur and just try to get on the places where those stains are and kind of rub it. I gently squeeze the fur sometimes to already get some water and soap out. Then I grab my toothbrush and I just put some of the soap on there. And of course I put way too much on it because again I'm an idiot. But then I start scrubbing on the muzzle, places where there's dirt, and just really get that soap in there. Have to use a toothbrush for this. You can use any other soft brush. I just find a toothbrush to be handy to get in those tiny spots. You gotta be careful for the light airbrushing she has on her nose. It shouldn't wash off with this type of soap, but still I'm quite careful that I don't accidentally rub some of that off. If I would rub it off, I could just redo it. It's done with fabric markers that I just have lying around. And there she goes. It looks like she has shaving cream or she's about to get shaved. That's... And I use a toothbrush to kind of get the stains out in her neck as well. Again, a soft brush would be slightly easier for this, but I was already busy with a toothbrush, so yeah, it really helps to get the foamy soap and the stains out of there. And I check if the temperature is still okay and just wash out the soap. This can take a while because you really have to wash it out. Make sure everything's out of there. And then I use a toothbrush to see where there's still soap left. I kind of push it out with the soft bristles. And then I wash that off again. Also try to wash out the muzzle as good as possible. Now because Rika has a moving mouth, some of that water might get into her mouth, but that's fine. I'll just dry and clean it off later. And then I start to squeeze some of the soap and the water out of the fur. It's important to really rinse out the soap because if it stays in the fur, it'll dry up and the fur will just stick together and it will be an entire mess. Then I wash the toothbrush so there is no soap left in it, and I scrub along her face and neck, along her muzzle, to see if there's any more soap coming out, and also to brush out some of those last stains. I brush the fur a little bit, though this is not really necessary since the brushing is best done during and after drying, but you know, some brushing, you can never go wrong with brushing it a bit. Pat. And then I gently squeeze some of the water out of her. Do not pull on the fur during this part, just squeeze it and kind of wring it out very softly. It might look a bit tough on Rika, but she's fine. And there you go. After this, I put some fursuit spray on. It is antibacterial. I mean, it has alcohol in it, so it'll clean all those bacteria out that are in there. I also put some in the suit, which I do every time I went suiting. Even just for 5 minutes, I spray that in there, make sure there's no bacteria forming. Then I use this technique where I use a small vacuum cleaner to suck out the fur. Now I have to warn you that vacuum cleaners are not made to do this. You could better use one of those carpet cleaning tools with suction. Now this is a very small vacuum cleaner and I've used this technique a couple of times and luckily it hasn't broke, but you really have to be careful with moisture and electricity. After I'm done vacuuming some of the moisture out, I thoroughly clean and dry the bit that got wet, and it should be okay, but please be careful when you use a vacuum cleaner for this like me. Like, make sure you use the proper tool. Then I dry up all the moisture and wetness out of the vacuum cleaner. Then it's time to dry your fur. I use a hair dryer. Make sure you use the cold setting on the hair dryer, which is really important because heat can heat damage the fur. And this process can take a while. It usually takes a long time because, you know, fur holds water really well and it doesn't dry very easily, but it's important to keep it really, really dry and make sure there's not a lot of moisture and wetness left in the fur. If there is, you can still air it out, which is fine. You can put your head somewhere where there's a lot of airflow and just let it dry naturally, which is also okay. But most of the really rough moisture should be dried with the hair dry. In between drying, I brush the fur a little bit, make sure it doesn't become matted, make sure there's no clipping in the fur. This is a result that you like to see. It's the fur getting more dry. Also, don't forget to air out and dry the inside of the head, which also got wet during the washing, of course. I also dried the inside of the mouth. And before I stop drying, I put some fursuit cleaning spray on there. And when it's dry, just brush it all out. Give it a good brush a couple of times. Make sure that fur is nice and clean and very brushable. After this, your fur should be nice and dry and very, very floofy, which is my favorite part of cleaning my fursuit head. It's just having the soft floof. And there you go. Rika is completely floofy and clean. All of the spots, all of the dirt is gone. She's super soft and clean, and I put a lot of fursuit spray on her, so she smells really good. She smells like sweet lavender. And all I have to do now is just keep brushing her a bit, and then she's all nice and done. And there you have it. Clean, fresh, blue fursuit. Now, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and if you see this, let it be a sign to pop your fursuit into the bathtub.